Welcome to Home, Space and Reason, a podcast about creating a home that thrives.
Hi there, I'm Christina Browning, your host. If you know your home could be so much more than it is, I discuss home functionality, aesthetics, and automation. I'm a realtor in Portland, Oregon, and a home functionality coach. I geek out on every subject imaginable regarding your home and yard, challenging you to think of your space differently to get the most out of every square foot. I pose questions for you to think through about your space and your reason. This podcast is all positive, offering you virtual fist bumps and celebrating every win. Remember, there's no such thing as perfect, but you can still aim for your best every day. Join me on social media by searching for the handle Space and Reason. In this episode, let's talk about consecutive holidays. With birthdays, holidays, back to school, or any other cluster of celebrations you may have in a row at your home, it's interesting to look back and see how your home supported it or blew up. Recently, we had a series of events. My son's birthday followed 3 days later by my birthday. And then the very next day, we caught a flight for a birthday trip in which we were gone for 5 days. And then we hosted guests from out of town who could only fly in the day before we were going to return. So we left them a key and we came home to immediate entertaining. They stayed a bit longer than they had originally planned based on our invitation to stay as long as they'd like. And then 2 days later, I hosted Thanksgiving. Then we had a breather. However, when my husband and I looked back the day after Thanksgiving and realized the house had handled everything we had asked it to without being blown up, I was elated, I was proud, and I was impressed. It's a group effort for sure. We all feel these times of events in quick succession, and those are the times that your home can either relieve the stress or add to it. If you can pause at the end of the moment, lunch, cake, once the guests walk out the door, and it's fairly easy to quickly reset the space, that means you likely have a spot where each thing goes, and the people living under your roof all know where those spots are and where all the things go, and contribute to the touch it once theory. Touching it once is kind of a way to gamify things. Instead of sitting your cup on the counter and then later picking it up and putting it in the dishwasher, touching it once means putting it directly into the dishwasher. Instead of dropping the backpack on the floor when you walk in the door and then having to come back and pick it up and put it on the hook and then unload it, touching it once means it goes directly on the hook. One less step. With as much as I don't like the term hacking, it sounds so negative to me, I don't know how else to succinctly state it. If you're able to catch yourself setting something down in a spot that is not where it ultimately goes, you can seriously retrain yourself to do less. Touch it once. Dishes, I find, are the biggest offender. If you eat and leave your dish on the table and then someone else has to clean it up, well, that's no good. What if the person eating that meal immediately rinsed it and it went directly into the dishwasher? What if you get the bowl out to make your salad, you toss it together, plate it, and you do not put it in the sink? Instead, you wash it out, takes 2 seconds, dry it, and put it away. We have a rule in our house. No dishes go in the sink, ever. Well, okay, unless they have to soak. But other than that, no dishes go in the sink. They either get washed by hand right then or they go directly into the dishwasher. In order to pull this off, the dishwasher needs to be emptied first thing in the morning so you can put all the dirty dishes in it as the day goes on. Or, what is your version of this? Maybe this exact recipe doesn't work for your family, but something similar might. Touch the item once and then go enjoy your delicious beverage with the people you love. After all, these days, that's what they're supposed to be about, enjoying our people, not dealing with a home that feels like it gets messier by the day. And now, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and let's think about some questions to ask yourself about your home space and your reason. Question number 1. What area is the biggest offender as far as space goes within our home? How could we approach this area differently? Could we maybe gamify it? Like the touch it once theory. Or if not that, something similar. My son has a habit of taking off his socks and just hucking them anywhere, wherever he's sitting. And I find them all over the place. Drives me crazy. He is trying to get in shape for baseball. Baseball is his sport. It's baseball all the time. Even when it's off season, he's going to private coaching. And so, because it lines up with his efforts and his goals, every time we find a pair of socks on the floor, he has to do 20 push-ups. Now, I will tell you, with my son, he thinks it's hilarious. If he has to do 20 push-ups, he's giggling like the entire time. So this works well for him. He knows he got caught with throwing his socks somewhere, and he thinks that this is such a good time. This whole I have to do 20 push-ups when you find my socks somewhere thing. It works for our family. So how might you gamify it for your family? Question number 2. How can we reward ourselves if the consecutive holidays go well? Meaning, our home isn't completely blown up at the end. Maybe an afternoon of indoor putt-putt golf, or going on some kind of outing that everyone enjoys. Question number 3. What kind of people live under my roof and what are their strengths? So, if your son loves to line up the glasses straight out of the dishwasher because they're warm, maybe he gets to empty the dishwasher and you would prefer to wash the mirror because it's so gratifying to finish it without a single streak anywhere. If the point is teamwork, come together and think about how can we make this fun, relatively easy, and equitable so it's not all falling on 1 or 2 people. Kids ultimately need to know how to function in their own homes someday, so teaching this group effort concept only helps in the long run. If you haven't listened to episode 12 yet, titled Winter in Your Home, I invite you to by clicking on the link in the show notes. As the days get darker and colder in much of the northern hemisphere, it's easier than usual to feel down and gloomy. You'll be battling foul weather and grumbling under your breath as you wrap a scarf around your neck before opening the door. This episode isn't just about the holidays, it's about winter, so it lasts for longer than just a holiday. Click on episode 12 in the show notes. Lots of delightful sound effects in this one. If you happen to know someone in the market to buy or sell in the greater metro Portland, Oregon area, kindly send them my way. The finest compliment I can receive is the confidence of your referral. Follow me under the handle on the platform of your choice at Space and Reason, and write a review if you haven't yet, because it lets others know that this is a podcast worth listening to. Thanks for sitting in on this conversation about creating a home that thrives. I'll meet you back here for the next episode.